Hey Dave, I was talking with one of my buddies about feats, the chef and the inspiring leader feats in particular. And he said, why would anyone ever take the chef feat instead of the inspiring leader feat?
That might be a worthy discussion, so let's talk about feet versus feet.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
And I'm Nerdarchy Dave. Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds.
Now let's get funky with feats.
You know, you might want to beat feet over to our sponsor, Dungeon Fog. It's a great mapping software that you can sign up for free and check it out, see if you like it. I love using it. I use it for a lot of our games. It's easy to use. It's intuitive. It makes me feel like I'm a kid again, drawing on graph paper. There will be a link down in the description. Go down there, sign up for a free account, and decide whether it's something you want to use in your games or not.
Absolutely. So let's kind of look at, feats and how they've kind of progressed so far.
All right, so we're going to talk about some feats that we kind of first saw in some unearthed arcanas. Over the years, 5e's been around for a little while now. And we've had a couple different instances where we've delved into feats. Back in 2017, they introduced like 18 skill feats, which, a lot of them didn't make it into the game.
And then in 2020, we had 16 new feats in Unearthed Arcana. 4 of them were skill feats, and 3 did not make it into Tasha's.
And now we've got Tasha's Cauldron and everything, and we get a whopping 15 new feats. Like we said, we've seen a bunch of them before.
And we have 4 that involve skills and tool proficiencies.
So those 4 that we got, and we're going to bring them up only because we're going to be talking about one of them, was Artificer Initiate. It gives us access to a tool. Chef gives us access to tool. Poisoner, also tool. And then Skill Expert gives us access to another skill as well as expertise. And the cool thing about most of these, not only do they give you access to skills, but also interesting ways to use them, which, we found pretty cool. As a matter of fact, I'm playing a character using the chef feat right now. And it's kind of like my character's personality is kind of based around that feat in particular. So, I want to ask the question, how do you guys feel about these feats or any of those feats that were in Unearthed Arcanas? Are you missing them and you would have liked to see them make it into the game? Are you using them like I am and you like it completely kind of like dictated your character? In the comment, let us know. We can compare and contrast and tell us funny stories about your characters.
If you want to help out Nerdarchy and appease the YouTube algorithm, do the normal YouTube thing like liking, subscribing, clicking that notification bell. You know the drill.
Right, and a quick reminder, we drop new Nerdarchy videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you can just head over to the channel and find the newest and latest RPG and D&D content from us.
All right, so let's actually take a chance and look at these specific feats and kind of do that whole compare contrast.
All right. Well, I'll go over Chef because since I'm playing that one, I have a bit of fondness for it right now. So the great thing is Chef is a half feat. You can get a bonus to your Constitution or Wisdom score. You gain proficiency with cook's utensils if you don't already have it. And as part of a short rest, you can cook special food provided you have ingredients and cook's utensils on hand. You can prepare enough of this food for a number of creatures equal to 4 plus your proficiency bonus. At the end of the short rest, any creature who eats the food and spends 1 or more hit dice to gain hit points gains an extra die hit points. So it's kind of like Song of Rest, which is kind of cool from the Bard. With 1 hour work or when you finish a long rest, you could cook a number of treats equal to your proficiency bonus. These special treats last 8 hours after being made, and a creature can use it as a bonus action. Each one of these treats gains temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus.
Not bad. It's a half feat. It offers a lot of versatility and options, whereas Inspiring Leader has a prerequisite. You need to have a charisma of 13 or higher. You can spend 10 minutes inspiring your companions, shoring up their resolve to fight. When you do so, choose up to 6 friendly creatures, which can include yourself, within 30 feet of you, who can see you and or hear you, and who can understand you. Each creature can gain temporary hit points equal to your level, plus your charisma modifier. A creature can't gain temporary hit points from this feat again until it has finished a short or long rest.
All right. So, now let's unpack them, analyze them, compare them. Is there really a better one? I mean, right off the bat, one of the things that I want to say that the chef feat has going for it, it's a half feat. And there are two stats that you can get a bonus to that are fairly common. Like no one's not going to benefit from having a higher constitution. Wisdom, there's a lot of skills involved. It's a prereq for, or not a prereq, but a main stat for a lot of casting classes. So in that sense, it definitely has inspiring leader beat. It's super useful that way.
Both Constitution and Wisdom are also, the better stats for saving throws. The more detrimental effects, or the more often used saves are, Dex, Con, and Wisdom, and this is offering a bonus to two of them, so or one of two.
And then we're also going to get proficiency with cook's utensils. So there's two things we're getting from Chef that we're not getting from Inspiring Leader. So there is nothing to compare and contrast. I mean, cook utensils doesn't really make your character better. It may add some flavor to your character, but literally, but it doesn't necessarily make your character better. It's just an interesting thing that they can do. There might be some ways where your DM works it in. And it's like, oh, maybe you can detect foods that are poisons in foods that are ingested, or know if food is spoiled or not. Or if it's been tampered with. So there might be some interesting ways where you can mechanically benefit from this skill, but definitely nothing game breaking there.
All right, so putting those elements aside, Inspiring Leader does, as I state, have the prerequisite, whereas there is no prerequisite for Chef, correct?
No, there is not.
Then the other side of that coin is the Chef takes an hour no matter which iteration you're using, and Inspiring Leader only takes 10 minutes.
Yes.
It's a lot easier to get that 10 minutes than it is an hour, but it also says that you can do that during the course of a short or long rest to gain either of the attributes.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, like, all these mechanical benefits now are kind of rest dependent, right? Like, it doesn't say you have to give the speech, I believe, during your short rest, but you can only do it once per short or long rest. So you can technically do it anytime. The idea that you make the treats to hand out, like with that, yes, you have to do it during a rest, but it lasts 8 hours. So more than likely, you're going to be able to get the benefit of it. You can hand it out. Both of the chef abilities they scale, but as does the Inspiring Leader ability, and the Inspiring Leader ability scales much, much higher.
Yes, we start off, you get up to 6 creatures, which can include yourself, which for a lot of adventuring parties, that's going to cover it. It's not going to be able to do it for all, but, like I said, for the most part. And then you gain temporary hit points equal to your charisma modifier plus your level. And since you already have a 13 or higher, it's already going to be at minimum 1 plus your level. So it's a bulkier amount of things. And if you are playing a very short rest heavy game, you could just keep doing this. Do a short rest, do a speech. Do a short rest, do a speech. And there's no limit to that, other than the fact that everybody has to kind of take part in this rest. So Inspiring Leader definitely has the more bang for the buck when it comes to dishing out temporary hit points.
Yeah, so when it comes to dishing out temporary hit points for Chef, you're only going to be able to give your proficiency bonus, so it's going to max out at +6. You can only make a number of treats equal to your proficiency bonus, also going to max out at 6. The benefit of these I would say, is the fact that you can give them out and they can take them as needed. So in that way, we could actually stack with Inspiring Leader, not in the sense that you could gain the benefit of 2 different sources of temporary hit points, but in the sense you could go through those temporary hit points from Inspiring Leader and then pop the treat that your chef gave you. Or maybe the chef is the Inspiring Leader, right? So they could kind of work together. Now, this other ability that you get as a chef is, first of all, it starts at 6 creatures, just like Inspiring Leader, and then goes to a maximum of 10 creatures. This may or may not matter depending on your party size, right? 6 adventurers in a party is a decent sized party. Are you ever going to see 10? I don't know. Maybe with sidekicks, a steel defender, and familiars and beast companion, you might get those numbers up there. So that higher tier is probably not going to matter as much. Getting another DI8 of hit points back when you take a short rest alongside of everything else you're getting is kind of nice. And again, we can affect a bunch of creatures. So when we look at it, right, we have a D8 and then essentially a maximum of 6 is 14, where you could get you could give 6 people 25 temporary hit points essentially with the aspiring leader. I still don't know that one is necessarily better than the other.
So when you unpack it all, you have a single unlimited reusable instance with inspiring leader. The only caveat is you must finish a rest of some kind in order to be able to benefit from this again. So all right, depending upon how many times that you want to do this, all right, you technically, if you time it correctly, all right, I will start my speech at 51 minutes so that I do the 10-minute speech so that you finish the rest, I finish my speech a minute later, and you benefit. Yeah, you can technically, get into all that if you really want, but
so essentially with inspiring leader, you could give 150 hit points, if my math is correct, per rest with with chef. Sadly you can only give essentially 80 additional hit points per rest. So mathematically I would say inspiring leader is better if we only look at the temporary, regaining hit points and temporary hit points.
But when you unpack all of it, the chef is going to come with the caveat of having 2 instances of powers throughout the day that you could technically use, that it has a proficiency and a stat bump associated with it, and anyone can take it. It does not require a prerequisite. I think this definitely, it warrants. I would be hard pressed to say that one is significantly better than the other, and proclaim a winner. But clearly there are definite benefits to being able to take both.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing. You could benefit from both essentially side by side, right? So between those short rests, when your hit points run out from Inspiring Leader, pop a treat, you get another little quick boost. Not nearly as good as Inspiring Leader, but it still works. You got the other thing. You get those extra healing, that extra non-magical healing during the short rest. And like we said, proficiency, stat bump. It depends on what kind of character you want to play. Do you want to be a talky character or you want to be a cookie character? Do you want to be a cookie talky character? You could work them out better. I think we're gonna have to epic rack battles this one, and let you decide. If you want another video on feats, check out best feats for 5e and worst feats for 5e. Warning, this video we might need to redo and update. It's been a while.
Want to help Nerdarchy keep creating videos like these? Then head over to Patreon and join our adventuring party over there.
As a thank you, you'll receive monthly rewards like 5e content for players and DMs alike, a chance to game with us, and more.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.